Hello, everybody. This is Discover Bright Side, and this is our very, very special segment. I have a new veteran, and whenever we get a new veteran, we get very, very excited. But Jim Stevens is like no other. He's like no other veteran I've seen before. He's an artist. He has international curated collection. It's a multidisciplinary visionary artist, and he's an author. His pieces are available on private, corporate museums all around the world. He has won the Veterans Administration National Gold Medal for Fine Art. He's registered with the Kennedy Center. He's retired, and he also is legally blind. And we've had another blind person who did amazing things with this show. So Jim, we really honor you for the work you've done with the U.S. Army and for what you continue to do, even with a disability. And today he's the director of the Veteran Art Council in Denver, Colorado. And Jim, I would so excited to have you. So welcome, 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 and please introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth, for inviting me today. I appreciate it. Um, I was a sergeant first class in the Army. I made staff sergeant E6 at 18, and I made E7 student sergeant at 25. But most of my work was in small units, uh, special operations work. And I eventually had to leave the military, but I progressed on and eventually became a college professor at the University of Colorado. And then the Vietnam War came back to haunt me. And if you don't mind, I just so I don't ramble, um, I kind of wrote this down and I'll just read it, and that
Go
way folks
ahead.
understand what I've been through and what I've been doing, if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine.
But I'm here today. I mean, not as somebody that had an easy path, but somebody who's embraced every twist, turn, and challenge that life has thrown my way. My story is like many of yours. It's a refusal to be defined by the circumstances that life drops on us. While a young man in the Army, I was shot in the head during a combat mission. I recovered, but over 20 years later, I lost my eyesight in just 30 minutes because of a bullet fragment from that Purple Heart. And at the same time, then my life as a college professor, it just collapsed. Overnight, the world became a place filled with uncertainty, darkness, limitations I never thought I'd face. It took a very depressing 4 years to accept my new reality, but here's a truth I discovered that when life takes something from you, you can collapse, you can, or you can find the strength that you may not even know you had. And maybe like me, I combined it with a reckless commitment and blew the mountain. I blew the mountain of
Every
doubt
month.
holding me back into a pile of gravel and dust. Um, when one sense fades, others sharpen, and not just physically. I found that they sharpen both emotionally and spiritually. And losing my eyesight didn't diminish my dreams for the future. I learned it expanded them. And today I believe that, and this is my own personal philosophy, that a man with a vision is never truly blind. After losing my eyesight, I lost my job and then went through the heartache of divorce, which brought its own set of emotional and personal challenges. But even in the midst of that pain, I found a greater purpose raising my two youngest incredible daughters as a legally blind father. The road wasn't easy, but I learned another profound truth on that journey. Listen to people, especially children. It was my girls who encouraged me to ignore the barriers and become a professional artist, even though I'd lost my sight. Taking their advice, I also learned that being a parent isn't about what you see. It's about the courage you show your children through your actions. They were young. I was blind. None of us could drive a car. So they would walk in my shadow to the grocery store. And together we carried our bags home. Sun, rain, freezing snow made no difference. I was able to teach my kids that life's challenges, they're not barriers, they're stepping stones. I had to model for them what resilience looks like, how to stand tall in the face of adversity, how to fight for your dreams, and even when the world says it's impossible. And yeah, I say fight because that's exactly what I did, literally. I became a martial arts black belt and fighting champion at the tender age of 51. and being legally blind wasn't, it wasn't just about proving others wrong. It was about trying to prove to myself that limitations are only powerful as long as we let them be. The only limits that truly exist are the ones we impose on ourselves. I refused to let my blindness define me, and through the martial arts and becoming the martial arts, I became a martial arts fighting champion, tournament champions. I won as a blind 51-year-old. I learned that our greatest strength often comes when we're pushed beyond what we think was possible. I mean, every fight I entered, every challenge I faced, it wasn't about winning a title. It was about winning over my own self-doubt. But my journey didn't stop there. In quiet moments when the fighting was done, I found solace in creativity. As an artist and a writer, I discovered that expression knows no bounds, and my blindness didn't stop me from becoming an award-winning artist. It actually fueled my creativity in ways that I couldn't have imagined before. Sometimes I found that when the world grows dark, we're forced to see with our hearts. I discovered that love is where the true artistry is born. Today, my art is in government, business, museum, and private collections around the world. I also have 3 books published on art. And I would tell you one quick story that has always stayed with me. When I first started to try and do art again, I was working on a sculpture piece. I became so frustrated with it, I threw it across the room. My youngest went over and picked it up, brought it back, put it on the table in front of me. It took me 2 years to try to figure out how to do art again. She set it down in front of me and looked up at me and said, "Daddy, you promised not to quit." I felt about an inch tall, and I went back to work. So listen to your kids. Sometimes they're smarter than us. I shared this small part. It's a small part of my story, but not to say, look at what I've accomplished, but to say, look at what's possible when you're willing to change. Follow your vision. Refuse to give up. Writing, the martial arts, carrying bags home from the grocery store, that all allowed me to capture the essence of persistence and resilience. Art gave me a new way to show the world how I see. It was, now it's through imagination, understanding, and passion. But the biggest reason for sharing my story today is because, my journey is just a reflection of the resolve inside each of us. It's the same strength that's inside you, same strength you have to see the vision for your futures. And when you harness that strength of will, you learn to challenge. And challenges, you discover, are not barriers. They're invitations to release the power of your human spirit. And I discovered that the human spirit is unstoppable. I mean, it really is. I ask you all to stay strong, stay resilient, and remember that you're capable of more than you imagined. It's come true for me. It can come true for anybody. And I'm always happy to make new friends. Should anybody ever want to, you can email me anytime through my website. It's thescrimshawstudio.com. And that's basically how I got from losing my sight to where I'm at today.
Wow, Jim, what a story. And you have been such an inspiration. You're exactly what we needed to hear because I was just this morning, I was just like, I don't know why I do this. And I really need to, think what I'm doing. But you came on today and you've made me want to do it again and again and again. So thank you for being my inspiration when I was really not feeling all together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. You're really awesome. And yes, we want to be your friend and we want to see you on our show more often so that we can get your message across to more people.
I'm very fortunate.
Questions for Jim before I bring the next guest.
How old are your daughters now?
I beg your pardon?
How old are your daughters now?
Oh, they were 10 and 12 at that time, and now they're 37 and 39.
Wow. What a great story.
What a great story.
I'm very fortunate in my art. I was able to put my kids through college with my art.
Awesome.
Wow, I can't wait to see this art. It must be quite amazing.
What a great victory you can celebrate.
Yes.
And that's one of those celebrated victories that you just can't talk about. It's the experience.
Yes.
The experience of that celebration and the victory. That's That's incredible.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You know, when I won the martial arts tournament of champions fighting competition, I remember I left that tournament that day with dislocated left knee, 3 cracked ribs, broken nose, and the trophy as tournament fighting champion. And I was walking out of the building going, I won.
And you were blind. So wow.
No one knew that. No one knew that at the tournament.
What training you might have.
My coach made me leave my white cane in the locker room.
So how
I
did
followed
you,
him from ring to ring, and he said, "Once you're in the ring, Jim, you'll know where you're at. We're not letting them know you're blind."
so
And
how,
when I went up to get the trophy, when they called my name,
uh,
the gentleman who took second place, I was 51, he was 35. The gentleman who took second place, my sensei said he wished he had a camera because the guy's jaw dropped all the way to his shoe tops because I had my cane back by then. And he was like, "What? I lost to a blind man?"
so how did you hear? How did you, I mean, your movements were based on listening to the sounds around you or what?
My sensei trained me to a point where I could hear cloth coming over skin.
Oh,
I could hear a leg lifting. I could hear a punch coming,
oh,
and that has served me very well. I had a couple of times where people thought they could take advantage of me. A
right.
couple of people jumped me one time, and I laid them both out.
Wow,
My.
that's just amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
They were trying to take my wallet, and they didn't.
That must have surprised them.
Wrong blind guy to jump.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just remarkable.
That's remarkable.
That's remarkable.
That's remarkable.
Mhm.
What a story. And we needed that today. Donna, see, this is why we do what we do. Because you get these surprise guests on the show and they really bring something to us. You are such an inspiration, Jim, truly. An amazing guest on our show, and we hope to have you back because I want to know how you did this martial arts blind and won a trophy and broke ribs too. That's amazing. What a story.
My first love is my children.
Yes.
I've never been able to keep a wife, but I've always gotten the kids. Um,
Well, being a good father is just as important as being a good husband.
Right,
So
right,
yeah.
right.
So maybe that's why you didn't have a wife, so you could concentrate on the girls. You know, single parents make the best parents. Yeah. So
my kids are my first love, and I guess my second love is my art.
yeah. I can't wait to see the art. Next time we'll put the art, we can share our screen and do a PowerPoint or something and show people.
You gonna ignore my congratulations to you?
Who's that? Who's on? Hello? I heard somebody's voice. Okay. All right. So, Jim, you've been discovered on Discover Bright Side. This is a channel where we discover new things and authors and artists and veterans and people that have stories to share on this channel. We hope that you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you watch this channel online, in our newsletter, in our magazine, wherever you are, we want you to subscribe. We want you to write us a comment because that's what keeps the channel alive. And we want you to come to the Zoom live studio so we can hear your story. So be our guest or be in the audience. But we would love to have you. So share your story with us. So thank you. I hope you got inspired by what Jim had to say. And we look forward to your comments about what you thought about it. And if you are blind and you're watching our channel, we'd like to hear from you. We have had some amazing blind people and disabled people. We've had a woman without arms and legs, and she was amazing too. So disability is nothing. You can conquer anything. Life is limitless, and this is a beautiful world that we live in, and you can do amazing things with your life. So we hope that these stories would help you feel good today. So thank you, Jim, for blessing us.
And if you have vision, you're never truly blind.
Yes, that's
I
true.
wrote that down, Jim. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep,
Yeah.
that on our code. Thank you.